that is for the people, and that's why we're all going to support Austin May, right? Austin! And now, without further ado,
hello, hello! My gosh. Just first, thank you all so much for coming out tonight. You know, this is the beginning of a long road. We've got a year and ahead of us, but if this is the momentum we're showing in 2025, oh, I'm ready for 2026. Let's go! So, for those of you that have not heard my full story, I defined this campaign and my candidacy and why I want to do this in the first place out of how I define and how I discovered public service. In high school, as an intern, as an assistant, I worked for both Pam Althoff and Jack Franks. On the Republican side, on the Democratic side. Different philosophies, different purposes, different districts, but they were all about public service, all about their constituents, all about making their community better, safer, happier, more prosperous. And that taught me a lot, and it started my journey. Then went to school, went to college, studied psychology, which I think has helped a lot, you know, trying to understand how people think, for better or for worse. But then I joined the Peace Corps. And so for 2.5 years, I lived in southern Ethiopia as a high school English and civics teacher. And no matter where this journey might end, I will always hold that as the single greatest, hardest, best thing I've ever done. 350 students. Everything happens in a classroom. You know, this is a classroom. Everything happens where people are learning, where we're growing together. And to all the teachers in the room, thank you for your service. So after Peace Corps, I came back and moved to Colorado and worked for Hillary Clinton. We lost, but then I decided, you know what? We're gonna change things up, and I joined the military, signed up for the Army. And so I've been in for 8 years now, started out in logistics, but now I'm a civil affairs captain. And civil affairs is a little more niche than most things, but it is finding civilian problems and solving them with civilian solutions. It's networking, it's seeing what's ahead of you and what you have available, what tools you have. Now, McHenry County, as Representative Ness has said, is a very Republican county. It's 15 Republican board members. But those 15 board members aren't all the same. There's about 5 that are MAGA, and that's a whole different thing. The rest are business Republicans, old school Republicans, and then 3 stalwart Democrats. But this time next year, I'm pretty sure that number is going to change. And so, after getting my master's at Georgetown, studied public policy, doing a tour abroad in the Middle East, a few other things, I said to myself, well, 2026 is coming up. I think it's time I come home where I was born and raised. And if I want to make the world better, if I want to make the country better, I have to start with my neighborhood, my community, my county. So here I am, once again, we'll see where it goes.
wow.
And now, my campaign is not about my opponent, board member Greeno. I'm not going to talk about her, I'll leave that to y'all. But I have to share one story, because it just happened 2 days ago, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So here we are at the monthly county board meeting for McHenry County. You know, you've got your 18 board members, you've got the chairman, the parliamentarian, a bunch of concerned citizens coming in for whatever issue is on their mind. And this meeting starts off with County Board Member Greeno saying, I want to correct a vote I made a month ago. A month ago, I voted yes for increasing the board member salary. I was mistaken. I meant to vote no. So, she then spends half an hour of precious county government time trying in 3 different ways through parliamentary rules to change her vote. And the exact words, this is the bit that really gets me. If someone looks at the historical record, I want them to see I voted no. I want them to see I voted no. Not I wanted to vote no, I meant to vote no, no, no. I want them to see I voted no. Don't pay attention to what I do. Pay attention to what I'm saying, what I'm showing. I'm a new politician. I have a lot to learn, but I promise I know the difference between yes and no. If I make a mistake, you will know. I will admit it. My ego can handle it. My paycheck can't handle it. Maybe Miss Greeno's, who knows? But, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting race. I'm excited for it. Now, I want to take a step back. National politics is so much different than local politics. And what happens on a national level trickles down to us, but we have so much more impact from what our city is doing, what our county is doing, even what our state is doing, than what's happening in the White House. But I've got a couple quotes from a former president that really resonates, and we'll see if they resonate with you too. Imposing such tariffs, or over the long run, such trade barriers, hurt every American worker and consumer. President Ronald Reagan. Reagan said that. Got another one. Rather than talking about putting up a fence, why don't we make it possible for Mexicans to come here legally with a work permit? President Ronald Reagan. What's going on here? One more. I'm sure this is a liberal Yahoo. Just hold on. Americans are a unique people, a colorful tapestry of traditions and cultures woven into one vibrant society. The motto, graven on our coins, E pluribus unum, reflects the rich diversity from which America draws its strength and vitality. President Ronald Reagan. He's going to get canceled by Fox News. He said the D word. He said diversity. Where we are right now is nothing like where we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And the only way back is here, in your neighborhood. It's not going to happen in the White House. Even if a Democrat is in the White House, it's not going to happen up there. It is grassroots. It is local, built up. And the momentum I'm seeing in McHenry County and everywhere is unlike what has been happening in this country since the 60s or earlier. Who went to the No Kings rally or any of the No Kings rally this weekend? Have we ever seen something like that in McHenry County? No. 5,000 people lined the streets of Route 31 peacefully, proudly. We have a lot of different messages, but at the end of the day, it's democracy, it's freedom, it's unity, or as the liberal Yahoo Ronald Reagan said, E pluribus unum. I look forward to talking to all of you individually. And again, I am honored that you came out tonight. We have a lot of work to do, but together, talking to your family, to your